Coming up on OU Nightly, the U.S. Senate is headed home after another failed vote. We are live in D.C. with the latest on the federal government shutdown. Plus, OU's African and African American Studies program will remain open after reports of shutting down. What this means for OU students.
And the heat could be affecting your game day plans tomorrow. I'll have all of this and more. This is OU Nightly.
Federal government shutdown will continue into next week. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abby Hollinsworth.
And I'm Darby McCormick. This afternoon, the U.S. Senate failed to pass the Republicans' GOP bill, a bill that would fund the federal government for 7 weeks. We are live in Washington, D.C. with Leah Smith with Gaylord News. And Leah, the Senate is out for the weekend and the House will not return next week. What does the current situation in Capitol Hill look like right now?
Yeah, so the Senate failed to pass both bills presented by Republicans and Democrats today. The Democrats are asking for an extension of funding through October and for an extension of healthcare tax credits. Republicans are asking for funding through November 21st. Since the Senate is not working this weekend, we will not see any progress until next week, at the earliest.
And how is the Oklahoma delegation reacting to the shutdown?
So Representative Tom Cole is hoping that Democrats understand the severity of this situation. He thinks that Democrats need to realize that a shutdown only hurts this country, and he said that shutdowns are, quote, an inappropriate tool in politics. Senator Lankford believes that Oklahomans are not going to see an immediate impact from this shutdown. However, the longer a shutdown is in place, the more that the federal services Oklahomans rely on every day are at risk. Senator Lankford and Senator Mullen are both very adamant about how neither of them support a government shutdown, and they are working as hard as they can to get the government back open as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Leah. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
And tonight, the University of Oklahoma says they are not closing down the Clara Luper Department of African and African American Studies. This after a report from the Black Wall Street Times that said shutting the program down was under consideration. OU Nightly reporter Julia Roberts is live with reactions from students. Julia?
Abby, business as usual is happening behind me at the Department of African and African American Studies, but that report of the program possibly shutting down sparked a lot of reactions on campus today.
Students were not happy when news broke about the University of Oklahoma considering removing the Clara Luper Department of African and African American Studies program.
I feel like African American Studies is something that is very important to my life. I grew up in Tulsa. I grew up not knowing about the Tulsa Race Massacre until I was in 6th grade.
The university responded to the report, sending us this statement. The University of Oklahoma is not closing the Clara Luper Department of African and African American Studies. Review of both degree programs was triggered by a routine multi-step evaluation of the university's 300-plus programs. Students enrolled in the department were relieved from the news that their program would stay open.
I feel like our jobs as black students should be like, hey, we should at least, want to educate ourselves at least a little bit when it comes to black history. We should be here. We should take advantage of these courses, take advantage of the professors that we have here who are great professors, and take what we can from them, so we can pass it down to the next generation of students.
The African American Studies program is small, but based on reactions today of its possible closure, it's obviously important to a lot of OU students. Reporting live outside the Department of African and African American Studies, I'm Julia Roberts, OU Nightly.
Julia, well, today for me, it was hot and humid from what it felt like. I'm sure you felt the same way. Dylan, can we take a look at what we can see going forward for this game day weekend?
Definitely going to be feeling the temperatures, but it's definitely going to be hot for the next couple of days. You're going to be seeing right now the current temperature in Norman right now is about 90 degrees, 88 there in Oklahoma City, but we're going to be noticing that heat wave is going to continue, and we're going to be seeing the drought conditions that will be developing over the next couple of days. And we'll get into that game day forecast as we go ahead into the main forecast.
Thank you so much, Dylan. Well, a major trial has now come to a close.
Find out who got convicted and how long they are sentenced for.
Plus, there's a new form of transportation you can use on game days.
The convenient and free new get-around is next.
There is breaking news out of the war in Gaza. Oliver Schaefer has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Hamas has agreed to release all Israeli hostages, dead or alive. This is under President Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan. The Palestine group said that it accepted some elements of Trump's plan, including giving power and releasing the remaining hostages. The response comes shortly after President Trump gave Hamas a Sunday deadline to accept the peace proposal or face, quote, all hell. 37 people were arrested and American kids were separated from their parents after an ICE raid at a Chicago apartment. The building was targeted because it was known to be frequented by members of a Venezuelan criminal gang, according to a DHS. A number of others arrested had criminal histories that included possession of a controlled substance and aggravated battery. Sean Diddy Combs returned to a Manhattan courtroom on Friday to be sentenced on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. Combs has been sentenced to 50 months in prison and fined $500,000. This comes after Combs addressed the court, calling his actions, quote, disgusting, shameful, and sick. The U.S. military has carried out another strike on a boat operating in the Caribbean that officials deemed to be a narco-traffic vessel today. Security Defense Pete Hegseth announced the strike in a social media post. Darby, Abby?
Thank you, Oliver. If you plan on heading to the game tomorrow, you have a new option to get around the city. Today, Visit Norman announced free golf cart shuttles from downtown Norman to Campus Corner. There are several stops along the route where you can hop on and off. 2 6-person shuttles will be running tonight and tomorrow, 5 hours before kickoff and 2 hours after. And a new album was released early this morning and it's already breaking records.
Hear what fans have said is a long time coming.
And it's hot and dry out there. See how this could affect your game day plans going into tomorrow after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. It is plenty of sun out there today, not a lot of clouds, and it's definitely hot out there right now. Current temperature of about 90 degrees right there. The winds are staying light, but we have lots going on out there in Norman with Parents Weekend and some other things as well. We have OU Nightly meteorologist Parker Schrader live outside from Reeves Park. Parker, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Dylan, I'm out here at Reeves Park, like you said, and behind me we got Brewtoberfest. It's hot out here, like you said as well, but that's not stopping people from coming in, trickling in slowly, getting them some good food from the food trucks and those brews as well. And of course, like you said, it is Parent Weekend, so if you don't have any plans for your Friday night or this weekend, you got this as well. And across the way, we do have at Love's Field, we do have the Battle Series as well with the softball team. So it's just a fun-filled weekend, but definitely a hot one for sure. Definitely got to keep that in mind. Definitely stay hydrated, get some sunscreen as well, but definitely hot out there. No fall-like temperature just yet. But Dylan, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the heat. We're looking at current temperatures right now across the metro. You're seeing 89 there in Norman, 89 up there in Oklahoma City. Some areas are even getting up to 90 across the state, especially in our western areas. We're seeing 90 over there in Elk City and 93 up there in Guyman. So overall, pretty warm out there this afternoon, and those allergens are up there high as well for the weed and the mold levels. So definitely something we're going to be watching over the next couple of days and into this weekend as well. But here's your evening forecast. You're going to be seeing those temperatures coming out of the 80s and down into the upper 70s as we go into the rest of this evening. Those winds should stay light, however. But as we look out to Saturday for your Saturday game day forecast, you're seeing lots of sun. Those temperatures are going to warm right back up into the 70s and 80s. We're not seeing a lot of clouds out there. We're going to see, looking at our future radar, not a whole lot of anything right now. We're going to see maybe a few chances for some spotty showers right there in western Oklahoma, but not seeing much of anything, and that's going to help enhance those drought conditions that we are seeing here in central Oklahoma. But we're seeing a high temperature of about 87 there on Saturday, and then we're going to see the temperatures continue into the rest of the weekend and into next week as well. Do have a light chance for some rain next week on Tuesday and Wednesday with a light cold front, but overall the heat is going to continue.
Thank you, Dylan. Sounds like a hot one for a jam-packed weekend, but hey, it's already been a jam-packed weekend to begin with because your two showgirls at the desk are finally able to listen to the new Taylor Swift album.
The Life of a Showgirl was released early this morning and it has already broken records. According to Spotify, just after 11 hours, it became the most streamed album of 2025 so far. Taylor's 12th studio album, according to the Apple Music description, is a pop explosion that examines Swift's relationships and her fame, which is both deeply personal yet extremely relatable.
Taylor says this album came at just the right time in her life.
Usually when you put out an album, you made it like a year before. So your life can change a lot between when you make it and when you put it out. But with this album, it's exactly where I'm at in my life.
Multiple sources say Taylor will appear on 3 talk shows next week to talk about her album. And with another Sooner football game right around the corner, we'll have who to look out for during the game.
And the styles you'll see on the field this weekend. That and more is next on Big Friday Sports.
Hello and welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Kevin Daniel, joined by Peyton Davis, and we're under 24 hours until the Sooners kick off against Kent State.
We're also 24 hours until we see Michael Hawkins Jr. as our starting QB. Ben Arbuckle hasn't been around that long, but the offensive coordinator already sees Hawkins' potential on the field.
Wildly talented. Has great arm strength. The ability to extend plays, has a quick release, and I think just, his speed is also kind of an X factor too. Just he's able to do special things with his legs. But I got to be here during the bowl game whenever he was the quarterback all by himself. So I think that month and that role was really, really big for him. Just being the leader of the team.
Speaking of Ben Arbuckle, his offense has been pivotal in OU's undefeated start, and the man leading that offense is ready to go. OU Nightly sports reporter Dalton Davis has this week's Sooner Spotlight. Dalton?
Yeah, guys, this week's Sooner Spotlight is the man with the keys to Oklahoma's offense, Michael Hawkins Jr. He may not have expected to start this soon, but with John Mateer sidelined, he's ready to step into the spotlight.
Being able to process the field, get through my reads, and just sit back there confident, I felt real good. Throwing to my guys and throwing them open. So I feel like I took a big step this past offseason. A big part of that is because of the people around me, like I said, Coach Coos and Coach Arbuckle, and just the support staff. And it's just been a great environment I've been in.
Yeah, like I said, he's in a really good spot right now, and he got thrown into the fire kind of last year, and so was able to get those game reps and learn that way, like you said. But it's also been really good for him to be in a system with great coaches we have, like Coach Arbuckle and Coach Coos, and learn from them, and he's doing really good.
Cool thing is that I got to see John in the position that Mike was in. I think that stuck with John. I think John knows that it's not just it's not all about me. It's really cool to see their relationship build. It's cool to see John in that role with the number 2 quarterback, and it's cool to see Mike handle his business the right way as that number 2 quarterback in the relationship with the number 1 quarterback.
It may be a temporary change at QB for the Sooners, but for Hawkins, it's a golden opportunity to turn a cameo into a highlight. Hawkins is looking to make his 5th career start for the Sooners and get a win against Kent State tomorrow at 3. I'm Dalton Davis reporting. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dalton. Michael Hawkins is the future, but let's talk about a blast from the past. At tomorrow's game, OU football will recognize the totally tubular team from 1985. The national champions had an 11-1 record and outscored opponents by a 371-103 margin. Iconic players on the team include Brian Bosworth, Tony Casillas, and Kevin Murphy, along with head coach Barry the King Switzer.
For those who prioritize fashion, we're looking at a top-tier uniform matchup on Owen Field tomorrow. OU already announced they will wear their throwback uniforms, and today Kent State revealed their uniforms for the game. They're rocking a gold, white, gold combo featuring an alternate lightning flash logo on the helmet.
Speaking of electricity, we have some electric games in college football tomorrow. The spotlight's on Vandy and Tuscaloosa, where Diego Pavia will look to repeat history. And Texas will look to stampede the Gators tomorrow at 2:30 as well. Another highlight matchup, number 3 ranked Miami taking on in-state rival Florida State at 6:30.
Last night saw an NFC West showdown in Thursday Night Football. The 49ers took the trip south to sunny SoCal, take on division rivals Los Angeles Rams. Under a minute left, Matthew Stafford gets the ball and leads a game-tying drive for a field goal. Then in overtime, Niners get the ball first, kick a field goal off the post to take the lead, and they're going to stop LA on downs, securing the 26-23 win. Now on to Sunday's slate. Dylan Gabriel will be making his first career start for the Cleveland Browns, and former Sooner teammates Jalen Hurts and Nick Bonito are going to battle it out. The two played together at OU in 2019.
And Kyler Murray and the Cardinals look to blaze through the Tennessee Titans on Sunday in Arizona. And Monday night, you'll be able to catch multiple Sooners playing in the Chiefs versus Jaguars game, including big boy Creed Humphrey. The NFL may have kicked off Week 5 last night, but high school ball is also in play. OU Nightly's Hunter Cornejo has the details on last night's matchup and more.
We're back with yet another Huddle with Hunter. One of the best uniform matchups you're going to see in high school football between the Southmore SaberCats and Lawton Eisenhower Eagles in 6A2. SaberCats win the toss and want the ball first. Southmore quarterback Taven Hayes takes the snap, quick swing pass to Tylen Diggs. He gets the blocks from his teammates, and he's going to do the rest into the end zone for 6. Southmore strikes early. SaberCats on defense, drop pass from Lawton Ike wide receiver, and Andrew Eagle lays the boom, somehow kicks it up to DJ Murray for the interception. A few plays later, SaberCats in striking distance yet again. Taven Hayes takes a snap, looks right, can't find anything, scrambles, finds his brother wide open, Tucker Hayes for 6, back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. SaberCats up 20 with over 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Southmore showing no mercy. Beckett Bailey perfectly executed onside kick. SaberCats strike yet again. Next drive, it's a handoff. Tylen Diggs takes the handoff, and it's nothing but green grass ahead. Walk into the end zone, plus the unsportsmanlike. Southmore moves to 4-1 with a 48-0 win over Lawton Ike. And in high school football tonight, 6A1, Union and new head coach Antonio Graham head to Owasso for the first time since Graham left the Rams for his alma mater Union. Sooners commit Caden Penny and the top-ranked Bixby Spartans host the Moore Lions. And in 4A, OU 5-star commit Cooper Hackett and Fort Gibson look to pick up their third straight win of the season, taking on the Oologah Mustangs.
Thanks, Hunter. Coming up on Big Friday Sports, the Thunder look ahead at the road to a two-peat.
And OU women's sports are on a roll. Hear who's leading performances and what to look forward to next on Big Friday Sports.
Well, if you're heading to Norman this weekend, you want to know it is going to be another hot one out there. So we're having a game day at 3 p.m. is that kickoff for the Kent State Golden Flash that is coming in tomorrow. We're going to see temperatures at about 83 for that tailgate time between 12 and 1 p.m. But when we get to that kickoff hour at around 3 p.m., we're warming right back up into the mid to upper 80s, getting up to 85 right there. Not a lot of clouds we're going to be seeing out there. It's going to be a lot of sunshine and some gusty winds as well throughout the game.
Thanks, Dylan. Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. And hey, let's talk some hoops.
Well, OU basketball doesn't start for another 3 weeks. The same can't be said for other basketball teams in the 405. I know my mom's grateful for this one. The Oklahoma City Thunder are tipping off preseason this Sunday. The Thunder secured their first championship in June, but head coach Mark Dagnall is focused on keeping things consistent, not necessarily the trophy at the end of the season.
We add every year. You know, we never want to come out of an off season and after a playoff experience, especially, just running the same thing back. You know, we're trying to solve for, the problems that we know gave us problems or that could come up in the season, and we're always adding. But the platform of the practice, the flow of the practices, the flow of the week is very consistent.
On the court, OU freshman and #1 recruit in the 2025 class, Aaliyah Chavez, is looking to be like Mike, signing an NIL deal with Nike. She's a key member of Nike Basketball's 2025 class of NIL athletes. She's joined by Tyron Stokes and Brandon McCoy Jr., who are the top 2 high school players in the country.
Taking it to the Diamond, softball fans will get the chance to see the 2025-26 Sooner softball squad for the first time. Patty Gasso's team will start their Fall Battle Series scrimmages here in Norman at 6:30 p.m. The team returns 13 Women's College World Series contributors, including 3 NFCA All-Americans and Ella Parker, Cassidy Pickering, and Gabby Garcia.
In other women's sports, things are looking up on the pitch for OU soccer. They look to snap a 2-game losing streak in their match against the Alabama Crimson Tide last night. Kayla Kiefer put the Sooners up early with a goal in the 9th minute, and then 10 minutes later, Alabama ties it with a penalty kick. Then heading to the second half, Allie Lacanal, the freshman, breaks the 1-1 tie off of a corner, and that's her first collegiate goal. Sooners put it in cruise control, take the 3-1 win.
I'm a bit jealous of OU volleyball right now. They should have some fun traveling to Music City this weekend. They're facing Vanderbilt tonight for the first time ever before road tripping to Columbia in hopes to declaw the Missouri Tigers. But don't worry, the Crimson and Cream will be back in Norman for a pair of conference battles with Georgia and South Carolina next weekend. Now, if you need something to do next week, how about catching a men's tennis match? The Sooners are serving it up every day here in Norman, October 8th through the 12th.
And then on the women's side, they'll be spending their next week out west, making a tour across California, playing 2 tournaments until October 5th, then starting a new one from the 6th through the 12th. Well, thanks for watching Big Friday Sports. I'm Kevin Daniel.
And I'm Peyton Davis. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Have a great weekend and a fun game day.